Hey, hi everyone. This is Sai from LetsUpgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hi guys, welcome to these boot camps on HTML and CSS. So I hope you guys are excited about learning about HTML and CSS. So what is HTML and CSS? So basically HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So what is the purpose of using HTML? HTML is used for creating simple web pages. I know you guys might not be aware about HTML and CSS, but I'm 100% sure that you guys might be knowing about web pages and how to use the web pages. Everyone uses internet nowadays. Okay, so you guys in these boot camp, you'll be learning about how to create your own web page. Okay, so HTML gives you the capability of creating your own web page, and CSS gives you the capability of designing, beautifying those web pages. Okay, so in these series of boot camp sessions, what we'll be learning about, so we'll be learning about the basics of HTML, the basics of CSS, then a little bit of advanced CSS that will help you to like properly align the items on your web page, properly beautify them, properly design them. Okay, and after that we'll be designing a portfolio project. Okay, so the portfolio project will be completely built on HTML and CSS, and you'll be able to create your own portfolio, will be where you will be able to showcase your own projects or your educational qualifications and all those things and your personal details. Okay, so though that particular web page that you will be creating, you will be able to host it anywhere on the internet, so that if you give that particular link to anyone, anyone would be able to access that with the internet connection. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited about this these bootcamp sessions, and I hope to see you in the I hope to see you in these sessions continuously. So without a miss, please follow all these videos. Okay, so that would be very helpful for you guys. Okay, so now let's directly jump into the basics of HTML. So before that, I'll like to quickly go through like what a web page is and how it look like. So let me quickly share my screen and open a web browser. Okay, so my screen would be visible to you guys. So I'll go to my browser. So I'm using Chrome browser over here. So first of all, I would like to introduce you, like most of you, I know that I know that you guys might be knowing like what are web pages and how do they look like, but still I'm just giving you an intro. So let's say we have a website. So I don't know how many people of you here are like Netflix fans, or have any one of you seen Breaking Bad or not. So it's a fantastic series. If someone has not, I recommend it to watch it. Okay, so in that the son of Walter White makes a website which is known as Save Walter White. I don't know if you guys know it about it or not, but you will see like how a newbie makes a website. So this is a classic example of a how a newbie's website looks like. Okay, so you see this savewalterwhite.com. So this is a single web page. Okay, so see, it's 1 minute. How can I minimize this? Okay, so I'll click over here, continue to the site. 1 minute. Yeah, so if you scroll down over here, you see like this is a simple web page with some headings, with some photos. Okay, and then some paragraph over here that is written about it. Okay, and a like nice decent background that they have given in green color. Okay, and then they have put some like buttons. So this is a button that they have put, and clicking on it would take you to some like payment gateway and all. Okay, and here like they have shown a total amount that is collected, and here this is the footer part. So this is about contact us, terms of use, privacy policy, and the copyright. So these things you might have seen in most of the web pages, right? So like there stays a header, then the main content, and at the bottom there is a footer, and in between the main content of the page is there. Okay, right. So this is what I was like trying to explain. This is the classic example of a web page that is built by newbies, like who have recently learned HTML and CSS. They start by building simple web pages that look like this. Okay, so that's it. So now before jumping on to the development, I would like to introduce you about an IDE. So an IDE is something on which you would be like writing down your code for HTML and CSS. So what I recommend is Visual Studio Code. Okay, so it's one of the best code editor for HTML and CSS. So you can simply search for Visual Studio Code. Okay, and simply go to the downloads here, and depending on your OS, if it is Windows, if it is Linux, or if it is Ubuntu, or if it is Mac, you can download it from here. Okay, so once downloaded, I'll show you how it looks like when you download and open it. So this is my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so something is already open. So what I'll do, I'll open a new instance of it. Sorry. Mm, okay. Yeah, so this is my new instance. I'll close this existing one. So this is my new instance of Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So simple. If you want to create a new file, you can use Control plus N on Windows and Command plus N on Mac. Okay, so select language. So since we'll be writing our code in HTML, so we'll simply select HTML from here. Okay, that's it. Our HTML file is ready. So what I'll do, I'll save it initially. So I'll go to the desktop and I'll call it learn.html. Okay, actually like keep it a habit to call it index.html. It's better always. Okay, so I'll create it on my desktop and I'll call it index.html. Okay, and I'll save it. Okay, so this is your very first HTML file. So the advantage of creating an HTML file, you will be able to open it on a web browser. Okay, so we have this HTML file. Okay, so you can see this HTML file, right? So if I go to open with Google Chrome, you see your HTML file is opening on the browser screen itself, right? Okay, so this is how an HTML page looks like on a browser. Like since we haven't written anything, this is how it looks. Okay, so now coming to tags in HTML. So what are tags? I'll start like before that, I would like to like introduce you to one thing that Visual Studio Code gives. So that is autocomplete capacity. So let's say you want to write the boilerplate code down for HTML. So simply what you can do, you can simply start typing HTML and select the HTML5 because that is the latest one. So if you'll click on that, the boilerplate code will be automatically given by Visual Studio Code. So you do not need to like worry about writing all these things down. Okay, but as you guys are newbies, I'll tell you what does it mean. Okay, so I'll write it down for you. So it will help you. So very first thing that you need to define to the page is that it is an HTML page, and every opening tag has a closing tag. So this is how HTML opens up in opens up, and this is how it is closed. So just remember, and those are in between angular braces is and HTML. It is opening tag. Angular braces followed by a forward slash followed by HTML. This is the closing tag. Okay. So now the other thing that comes is like see now your HTML, this is your HTML opening and closing tag. In between this will come the main part of your web page. So the main part would be, so you can like relate it to your human body. Okay, so in human body you have a head and body, right? So the head is that part of the body which contains the logical things. So first tag that we have, and this is the like topmost part that we have. So head. Okay, so just open it and it close it. That's it. Keep it like this for now. After head, what comes in your body? It's the body itself, right? After your head, the entire body comes. So here will be body. Okay, body opens, body closes. Okay, so now coming here, so what do we write inside the head? So all the logic or all the things like such as JavaScript or all the linking such as like let's say you want to link some third party CSS in your file, like the CSS that you have written somewhere else, or someone else has written that CSS and you want to call it over here. So those things you have to define inside your head. Okay. So and like viewport width and all those things are defined. Like let's say you want to make a responsive web page that works seamlessly entire all device sizes. Like let's say it works perfectly in a big size desktop, perfectly in a laptop, in a tablet, in a mobile screen. So for that you need to like make your web page responsive. So for that also like we have some things that we need to write over here. So I'm not getting into details of that, otherwise you guys will get confused. Okay. So now coming to the body part. So this is the main part, like which defines like whatever would be visible onto your uh, web page. Okay, so on your browser. Okay, so in the body, so let's say without anything, if I just write hello everyone. Okay, that's it. I'm just writing this. Okay, and I'll save it. Okay, that's it. Only simplest web page that I can create is this. Now if I go back over here and I refresh, you see hello everyone is visible over here, right? So this is the most simplest web page that I have created. So whatever you have written here is visible to everyone. Okay, on the web page. Once you host it like this, it will be visible to everyone on the internet. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, so in the body we have various tags. So I hope you guys got an idea of tags, right? Like tags are nothing but things defined inside these angular braces. Okay, so this was your body tag. So similarly for heading, there are certain tags. Okay, so I'll just write down over here. So heading tags. So what are these? Used to give like define headings in your web page. Yeah, they range from H1 to H6 in descending order of size. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Heading tags used to define headings in your web page. They range from H1 to H6 in descending order of your size. So I'll give you an example. You'll understand. First of all, I'll just like comment it out. Okay. So I'm just giving it as notes. Actually, I'll be sharing this file with you guys, so you'll be able to understand whatever I'm doing over here. Okay. So let's say H1 tag I'm defining. So again, how a tag is defined: opening angular braces, closing angular braces, and for closing it, forward slash followed by the tag name. Okay. So in H1, so let's say I wrote hello everyone, right? So now if I write hello everyone inside this H1, okay, okay, and I save it. So now if I go and refresh my page, you see it's coming with some certain style, right? It's coming as a heading, right? So this is a heading tag. Okay, so by default, like HTML has given a certain tag so that you do not need to do that extra effort to write a heading. So they'll take care of the heading. Okay. So what I told over here, they range from H1 to H6 in descending order of your size, in descending order of the size. So let's say I just copy this and I just change it to H2. Okay. And I'll just make copies of it again and again, and I'll go till H6. So H3, H4, 5, H6. I copied one extra. I'll remove that. Okay, and H3, H4, H5, H6. Okay, that's it. I'll refresh. So you see, what did I mean? They go descending order of the font sizes. So here the font is the largest, then a little bit small, then a little bit small, smaller, smaller, smallest. Okay. So like this, the H tags, like the heading tags work. Okay. So this was about the heading tags. Okay. So similarly, there is a paragraph tag. So simple for paragraph, we have the short form P. So P tag. Okay. So here anything you need to write. Okay. So welcome to Let's Upgrade. Okay. Hope you have a wonderful time learning. Okay. That's it. So simple. As you understand what is a paragraph, right? Like a paragraph is simple text. Okay, so simple paragraph has started coming over here. That's it. So it's a p tag. It's about p tags. Okay. So similarly, these were the very basic tags. Okay. So similarly, there are other tags such as header and footer. So this is the header tag. So header, and similarly there is a footer tag. So what it does, like let's say if you go to certain website, let's say we go to flipkart.com. Not here. Why is it taking so long? What's wrong with that? Okay, so I don't know, something is wrong with Flipkart website. Okay, so you see, I was explaining header. So if you see, this is the header, like this part where you see the search tab, the cart icon, the logo. So you see, if you scroll down also, the header remains at the top. So this is what is basically known as a header. So that like it gives you basic info about your website, the website which you are visiting. Okay, so this header tag remains common in all the pages. Let's say if I open any particular product page also, right? If I open this page, you see this will remain the same, the header will remain the same, although like they have removed the scroll feature, but yeah, uh, the header remains the same. Okay, so you see, okay, so this is what a header is. Okay, so similarly we have footer. So if you scroll down, you see this is the entire footer part. So this condition of use and all these things, these things will also remain the same in all the pages. So this is about the footer. So they're like HTML has provided a certain tags to like write like to like design our header as well as footer. Okay, so this was about header and footer. Now like new developers usually get curious about how do we add images. Okay, so like that makes our website very interacting and impressive, right? So for that, HTML has provided us with image tag, img. Okay, so it's short form of image, img. And then comes src. Src is nothing but the source, so from where you want to like pick up that image. So let's say right now I don't have any image on my desktop. So let's say I take some image, a random image from somewhere. Uh, this one. Where is my Chrome? Okay. So let's say I take let's upgrade logo. Okay. And I go to images and I just take this one. Save image as, and I'll save it on my desktop. I'll call it logo. Okay. Saved it. So logo.png has been saved. Okay, so now I'll go image src. So src, as I told you, source, right? So the source destination that I need to define. So as I know, like it is on my desktop only, so using dot slash I can go to that particular folder. So I was on index.html, right? Dot slash takes me to desktop. So on desktop I have this logo.png. So that's what I selected. Okay, and then there is a alt. Okay, so let's say if your network is slow or something and the image is not able to be loaded, or the image you removed. Okay, so you just need to give some text like what it is about. Logo of let's upgrade. Yeah, so I'll show you like what is the purpose of this alt. Okay, and like one thing, image tag is a self-closing tag, so you need not to define like separately like this. Okay, so you need not to define it like that. Okay, so like writing it over here only will work. Okay, so that's it. Now let's go back to our web page and refresh it. So you see our image has started coming over in our web page, right? So this was about our logo, like this image tag. Okay, so let's say I remove this, I delete this logo from here. Okay, so now if I refresh it, so you see this text is coming, logo of Let's Upgrade with this image icon. So this is what the purpose of like alt is, like alternative. Let's say if the image is not found, you have to display the user something, right? Some text like what was supposed to be here, which is not coming. So that is about the alt over here. Okay, so now I'll bring back that. Okay, so our logo is back, and if I refresh, the logo is back there. Okay, so this was about the image tag. So now coming to more basics of HTML. So we have a form tag. Okay, so form tag is nothing for creating a form. Okay, so form, you might have seen have the basic thing, that is the input, right? The input box. So how do we create that? Simple input, and we need to give type. So when we need text, we tell input, the type of the input is text. Okay, name is equal to let's say username. Okay, that's it. Two things I'm giving over here. Okay, and I'll give name over here. Actually, like there is a label field, so we'll use label and for. So label for is equal to, and I'll give username so that it links this to this particular input type. So label for, yeah, and the label I'll give name. Okay, so that's it. One field is ready. Similarly, I'll create one another field that is for let's say password. So input type would be password over here. Okay, and the name would be password. Okay, so label for password, and I'll give password P capital. Okay, so similarly, let's say you want to add phone number. Okay, so that is input type is equal to number. Okay, and name would be contact. Okay, contact. That's it. So and this is also a self closing tag. Okay, so you just put a forward slash over here and it will self close. And I'll copy this label, and label I'll give input for contact, and this would be phone number. Okay, that's it. So our simplest form is ready. So if I go here and refresh it, you see our input fields are ready over here. So name, let's say I give Akash. Okay, Akash Ambani. And password I give random. So you see, if I have used input type password over here, see input type password. So by default, it will come in this format, like dotted. It will not be visible. Okay, and phone number. So the main thing about phone number is that if I try to type any text, right, like I'm typing, see, I'm typing a text, it is not allowing me. It will only allow me numbers to be written over here. Okay, so that is about the uh, basic fields. Okay, so you might be wondering like why are they not coming in next lines. So for that, like for now, you can simply use the BR tag. Okay, so BR tag is nothing but break line tag. So whenever you need to like give some like another line after some fields, you can use the BR tag break line. So I'll use 2 to 3 so it would look neat. So you see now it's better. Okay, so this was about your input fields forms. Okay, so now in the form, one more thing is there, right? The button. So without the submit button, how you will submit? Okay, for that we have the button tag. So button, and um, I'll simply like create a button and I'll call it submit. That's it. So our submit button is ready. So you see submit button has started coming over here. So one more thing, I'll just like give some lines before it, line breaks. Okay, so our submit button is also there. Okay, so these are the basic things that are required in each and every website. Like no matter how basic or how advanced you website you are making or web page you are making, these will come in handy everywhere. Okay, I'm not telling about heading tags, and paragraph tags will come in handy, but heading tags does not come in handy much because everyone has to style their own headings and the way they have to give. Okay, so but yes, you should know about it. So these were all the basics about the HTML part. Okay, so I hope I was able to make these things clear. It's nothing tough, simple tags, simple English language. You know, if you know like what heading is, so heading starts with H1 tag, H2 tag till H6 tag. Paragraph starts with P tag. Then image, short form of image is IMG. Then you have to give source, SRC, and alternative alt, like what text has to be there. If you'll not give also, it's fine, but it's a good practice to do it. Okay, if you'll remove also, no problem, it will work without any errors, it will work. Okay, but it's a good practice to give it, so it's better to give. Okay, then form, simple form tag. Okay, then in the form we have label, and define that this label is for username, and then input. So input type text, name username, input type password, name password, input type number, name contact. Okay, so like this, your simple web page is ready. So I hope you guys are like enjoying it and understanding about HTML, because in the next session we'll be starting with basics of CSS. Because like once you have understood how to create basic elements, HTML elements, so the next thing that comes is to style those elements so that it looks beautiful on the web page. Okay, so once you are clear with the basics of like HTML, then CSS, then we come to the advanced property of CSS, such as the flex layout, that allows you to like arrange items in relation to each other on the screen. Okay, either horizontally or vertically, however. Okay, so that is one thing that will be coming up, and after that we'll be jumping directly onto the main thing of this bootcamp, that is the project. Okay, so yeah, so be prepared for the next session. Try to practice about the basic HTML input elements and all. Okay, so that you guys enjoy the next session, that would be about the basics of CSS. So thank you everyone, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. So now let's start with the basics of CSS. Okay, so let's start with the full form of CSS very first. So what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So as the name suggests, it is a style sheet. Okay, so what it is used to do? It is used to style the elements which you have till now learned about in the HTML sessions. So okay, before starting that, I would like to recap about the HTML elements that we have learned in the previous session. So the elements that we have covered were heading tags, paragraph tags, image tags, and a simple form tag. Okay, and the input elements inside the form. Okay, so now let's jump into the style sheets and how do we style those particular elements. So let me quickly open the editor back. So this was the web page that we were working on. So now let's quickly jump into the code. Okay, so if you guys remember what I told you about the head, so head was the place where all the logic and everything that is required to run your web page resides, right? So similarly, the styling part also resides in the head part only. Okay, so the style tag can reside inside the head. So style opens, style closes. Okay, so here is the place where we will be writing our CSS. Okay, so right now I'm not creating a separate CSS file. Once you get familiar with this way, I'll be shifting all the CSS to the CSS file. Okay, so now let's quickly style our tags. So one way like to reference a particular element is directly by their name. So since we have a single h1 tag, we can simply reference h1 like this, and opening and closing brackets, and inside this we can just give the properties. So let's say I want to change the color of my heading, so simple color, and I want to make it dodger blue, let's say. Okay. So this is a shade of blue. So now my h1 heading tag will come in dodger blue color. Okay, so like if I go back over here and refresh, you see the color of my heading 1 has changed to dodger blue, right? So similarly, if I wish to like add a few more things, like let's say font family, let's say I want to change the font of that. So let's say I want to make it Vardana. Okay, so if I save it and I go back and refresh, so you see the font has changed, right? The font style has changed over it. So similarly, if I want to make it not bold, so font weight is the property. So font weight normal. If I go back and I refresh, you see it's not bold anymore. Okay, so this is how we style simple h1 tags, how we reference to it by simple name. Okay, so this was one way of referencing. So now coming to the other ways of referencing. So let's say I want to reference this h2 tag by some way. So there are certain ways. Those are known as attributes. So one is the ID attribute and another is class attribute. So I'll be teaching you both. So the ID attribute is nothing but just you write ID and give it some ID. So let's say it can be anything your wish. Okay, anything A B C D E F G, anything you wish to give, you can give. Heading 2. Okay, that's it. I give heading 2. So how would you reference using id attribute? Using the hash symbol. So hashtag heading 2. Okay, that's it. Opening closing braces. And again I'll just give it color. So let's say this time I wish to give it brown. Okay, so that's it. I'll change and I'll go over here. So you see the brown color started coming over here. So this is how we referenced using the id attribute. Okay, so we referenced this particular element using an id attribute. Similarly, there is a class attribute. So let's say I add class, and class I give heading 3. This also you can give anything, a b c d f g, anything of your choice, heading 3. So I just so how do we reference using class? We use a dot symbol. So dot heading 3. Okay, opening and closing braces, color. So let's say I want to give it color yellow. Okay, so that's it. Now go back, refresh. Yellow is not very visible on the white background, so let's give it some other color. Mm, let's say violet. Okay, and we go over here and refresh. So you see the violet color is visible over here, right? So this is how we have styled our heading tags using the id and class attributes, as well as by directly referencing it. So similar thing we can do with a p tag as well as image tag. So let's say image. So in the image we have given all these things, right? So similarly I'll give it class. So I'll give it logo. I'll give the class name as logo. And here how I'll do it, dot logo. Okay, so what properties can I change of the image? Let's say I want to change the width, like how much width it is occupying on the screen. So let's say I give it 200 px. I'm not sure if it is okay. It's small. 200 px is less than the original image size. Okay, so you see the image has resized. So let's say I want to give it 1000 px, so it will stretch. So you can see. So you see it has stretched across the screen. But 200 px was looking good, so I'll give it that. Okay. Similarly, I can give it some height. So height I'll give it 100 px. So you see width and height. So height is this part of the screen. Okay. So you see it's not looking good to me. So height, I think it has taken more. So let's give it 50 px. Let's see how it looks. Not look nice. Let's go with 80 px. Okay, it's fine, right? So 80 px of height and 100 px of width makes the logo look like this. Okay, so this were some certain properties that I have given. Other properties also you can give. Let's say, let me think. What other property you can give? Like let's say margin. So margin left. Let's say right now you see it is sticking to the left, right? So you want to give some margin from the left. So there's a property margin left. So how, let's say I want to move it 100 pixels from the left. So you see it has moved 100 pixels from the left. Okay, one more thing that I forgot to tell you, I'm giving px over here, right? So this is nothing but the way of calculation in your computers. So we use pixels, like px is pixels. So it will calculate in pixels. So it will move 100 pixels from the left, top, right, all these things. And the width also it will give in pixels, height also in pixels. Okay, so this is one of the units. Other units are also available. We have em, rm, others are there, but I'm using px over here. Okay, because initially you'll learn like this only. Okay, so then we have margin top. So let's say I want to give it 200 px from the top. See, 200 px it has taken and it has shifted down. Okay, so this was about the margin and width and height. Okay, so now I hope you guys got an understanding about the basic CSS properties that are width, height, margin. Okay, so actually like this will come in use when we'll learn about another HTML element, that is div. Okay, so I'll just keep it, because now the basics are done of both HTML and for CSS. Other things that I need to tell you, I need to explain you about another basic building block of HTML, that is your divs. Okay, so divs, what are divs? Basic building blocks in HTML. Okay, so what you can consider, like these are nothing, but you can like take an example. When you build a home, okay, so what are the basic building blocks that you use while building a home? Bricks, right? So using bricks only you build a home. Start by building bricks. using bricks. Okay, so similarly divs are nothing but kind of bricks only. So you can use divs anywhere to like make up like properly lay out your page. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So again it is an element, so opening like this and closing like this. Okay, so you can give it any style that you want. So right now if you don't write anything right inside this div, nothing would be visible. See, nothing will come over here, nothing, not at all. Okay, but if you just give some text inside it, hello, see this hello has started coming over here, right? So this is nothing but simple building thing which you can keep and like you can style as and how you want. So I'll give it class, so I'll call it my div. Anything you can give, again class and id you can give any name. Okay, so I'll give dot my div. So what I'll do again, the main things that would be here is width and height. So I want to give it 500 px of width and 500 px of height and background color. So this time I wish to give background color to it so that this entire div is colored with something. So I will give it aqua. Okay, so I'll just save it and I'll refresh it to show you guys. So you see, this is a kind of a building block that has come, right? So you can design it as and how you like, and you can do anything with it. Okay, so this is a div and this is how I have styled it using giving it some width and height. Okay, so now very interesting question that comes to most of the new developers is how can we horizontally center this div? So let's say I want to move this div to the center of the screen. Okay, so how we can do that? So it's very simple. So for that you have to give margin left auto, margin right auto. So it will do what? It will place itself center, like in the center of the screen horizontally. Okay, what you had to do, only margin left auto, margin right auto, and it placed itself horizontally centered. Okay, so now coming to this text. So like you have a div, inside this you have some text, right? So you want to like move it inside, you want to like move this text somewhere, let's say here. Okay, at this place. So how you can do that? So one way is to like give some margin to this hello text, but I don't want to do that. I want to use padding. So here comes an interesting thing, that is padding, and most new people get confused between margin and padding. So I'll show you what is margin and what is padding. So margin, I hope you guys got an idea. So margin was what? The space this aqua colored div is taking from the screen, so from left, from right. Okay, so that was the margin. Okay, now coming to the padding. So let's say I give it some padding. So padding top I give it 200 px. Okay, so you see, if I refresh, what happens? You see, when I give padding, this hello shifted over here, right? So why it shifted? Because padding is the space which is coming inside this div. Okay, not from the boundaries. It is coming inside this div. So inside this, I have given some padding. If you want to check, there is this box model of CSS which you can see. So if you just scroll up, so you see this box model is coming, right? So now it is visible clearly, right? So if you see this is your div, this is the particular div I am referencing to. Okay, so what is the box model of it? This is 500 by 500 px in size. The padding it is taking is 200 px from the top, 0 from left, 0 from right, 0 from bottom. Okay, and margin of this entire was auto, right? So 232 from left, 232 from right, so automatically it has adjusted itself. Okay, so this was about padding. So padding top I have given, similarly I'll give padding left. So one more interesting thing I'll show. So you see, when I give padding left, the size of this div is increasing. Why? Because it has to adjust this, like adjust 200 px as well as the margin, as well as it has to take care of its width, right? So its width has increased. So how would you stop that? For stopping it, we have box sizing. So box sizing, border box. So if you will give this property, it will, the size of this div will remain the same. See, the size is now fixed, 200 500 px width, 500 px height, and the padding from the left is 200, padding from the top is 200. Okay, so this is how we have created a div with some margin and a padding inside it. So I hope these properties of padding and margin are clear to you guys. I hope have you have made it clear and understood to you, and about the box sizing as well. Other properties are very common: background color, and those things like font and all those things are very common. You can, like, once you start doing it right, it will come in handy to you. Like, you'll easily get it. Okay. So yeah, that was about some basic CSS properties. Uh, so uh, uh, if you are clear, like, I'll give you a short activity actually. So what you can do is you can take up a challenge to create multiple divs and try to, like, give relative margins to them. Okay. So one thing I'll do, I'll just uh, copy one more div over here. Okay. I'll create, ठीक है, my div 2, my div 3. Okay, I'll hello 2, hello 3. Okay, so I'll give like this. So you see, by default, each div, I haven't given any text inside them or what now. Why is it not appearing? Let me see. Okay, hello 2, hello 3 are coming. Okay, so let me give them some styles. Uh, Not the exact same. I'll give them 300, 300, 60, 60. Aqua, red, purple. Okay, my div 2. Similarly, I'll create my div 3 and I'll give it 100, 100, royal blue, and let's say 20 and 20. Okay, that's it. So now let's come and refresh it. So you see your divs are ready, right? Like, they are coming like this. Okay. So what I want you from you guys is, like, try to create certain things like this. Okay. Try to create your own divs. Try to play with the margin and padding property. So instead of, like, the margin left and margin right that I have given as auto, you can try to, like, give some certain values and shift it like this. Okay. So let's say, if instead of margin left auto, I give it 20 px. So then see the changes. So like these, you can try to experiment on yourself on your own. Okay. So see, 20 px from the left it is taking while the others are taking like this. So all these things, if you'll like try and experiment on your own, right, you'll get to learn a lot. Okay. So try to perform these activities, and then we'll meet in some time. So and in the next session, I'll be covering about the advanced CSS topics, such as, like, the positioning. So we have the relative, absolute, all these positioning attributes, and then we have the display properties. So those are very important. So, and those are, like, kind of advanced CSS, because there and all you'll learn about how to position these elements relative to each other. Okay. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.